Good morning. It is Wednesday, the 7th day of Chancetober. Today's prompt is 10. Promptober 2020. The 7th prompt is sweet. Hello, friends. Welcome. It is the 7th day of Chancetober, and I am drawing the prompt sweet. First thing, of course, when you think of October and sweets, there's candy and trick-or-treating, Halloween, and my mind drifted off to candy and going door to door and possibly uninvited guests. I have to say, in all my years of trick-or-treating, I don't think I ever had to trick anyone. I don't know if I've ever had anyone had to trick me, because now I hand out the candy. So coming to sweet. After the candy, after the trick-or-treating, after the ideas of Halloween, a combination of those ideas come to the surface. So I start to sketch. And then maybe it's because the last few days, my drawings, my washes, my alternative Inktobers have all been very dark, black and white. I immediately reached for the Bavaria color sheets, which came with my sketchbook, and just started putting down some of these colors. I think I've said it before, but the colors are very vibrant and very fun. A lot of fun to work with. I'm glad I picked them up. And so combining the ideas of Halloween, trick-or-treating, candy, sweets, I came up with this house in the woods, which, of course, it's a house in the woods. A witch has to live there. And these kids coming across it, finding this house that's made of gingerbread. So I start, that's what I'm drawing. You guessed it, Hansel and Gretel. Classic German folktale about brother and sister who are in the woods and they find this house. In all honesty, I had forgotten much of the story, so I had to look it up. And of course, there's a mother and father, and of course, the stories, they change as time goes on, but initially the mother and father, the mother is eventually changed to a stepmother, and the stepmother decides that they're starving because there's a plague. So here's another tie in the 2020. There's a plague going on, and the wife, the stepmother, is afraid of starving because these kids just eat too much. And the father says, no, we can't do this to the children. They're my children. I know they're not your children per se, but they're mine, and you're married to me, so they're yours. The stepmother's, nope. And so the father, real stand-up guy, says, all right, you win. And he packs the children up, and now the story varies. Sometimes the father packs them up and takes them into the woods, and sometimes the stepmother packs them up and takes them into the woods. Common theme with these stories is that the first time Hansel brings little stones to guide the path back to the house, which, why would you go back to your house where your parents who just tried to get rid of you live? But anyway, they take him out again with the breadcrumbs, and the breadcrumbs get eaten by birds and the little forest creatures. And so after days of wandering in the woods, they find this gingerbread house. And of course, days in the woods, they are starving. And they don't ask any questions, they just start eating this house. And of course, who lives in the house but a witch? Once you think about it, this house can't be too far in the woods because she built this house out of candy and cookies and pastries and gingerbread to lure children to it. So it has to be sort of close to a populated area. And the parents in this area must get rid of their kids on a pretty regular basis. Like I said, this is a German folktale, so hey, Germany, what's up? Just kidding. I understand. It's all good. It's a good story. So the kids just start eating this house, and this old lady comes out and says, come on in. You don't have to eat the outside of my house. You can eat the inside. It's a little fresher. There's some beds. And I can make you a hot meal. And of course, it turns out this witch is a evil cannibal that wants to fatten up the children to eat them. And an interesting twist of fate of this, for the story of this time period, Gretel actually saves everyone by pushing the witch into her stove. She tricks her and pushes her in and burns her alive. And of course, being a witch, she has gems and precious stones and loot stashed around her house. So the kids gather up the loot, their spoils, and they somehow find their way back home. Where fortunately, in the last story I read, the stepmother somehow died. And so it was just the father, who was very sad that he let his kids go into the woods to be sacrificed. But the kids are happy to see him. And they're like, look, we've got gems and witch loot. And they proceed to go and live happily ever after. Sounds kind of like a perfect Halloween, if you ask me. Well, I hope you enjoyed it, everyone. Thanks a lot for stopping by and watching the video. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.